I apologize for not standing in the heat of the moment, trying to battle with you and go back and forth because they're always so physical. I apologize for bringing our stuff to social media, and I wish I would have never said nothing, but I wanted it to end. I apologize for saying all the stuff
That probably was the most accountability bit. She said, I apologize for taking these things to social media, but I want these things to end. Okay, taking that bit out, that bit was, because I think she took it to social media. So she started, like, nobody would have really known other than like, where is she in the pictures? And then they could have just done a nice statement. Everyone always does a statement, right? What do you call it? It's hard for me to say this. But me and so have gone our separate ways. You know, no, what do they normally say? There's always a line they always say. Oh, I can't remember now, but there's always a line that all of these celebrities say when they break up. It's just like the same publicist, right? Tells them to write the same thing.
that I ever said about you on the internet and bringing truth to the internet about you. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry for standing in my truth. But I do apologize for continuing to drag this out on social media and to continue to bash and humiliate you. I apologize for that. And that's it.
You apologize for saying this stuff is abuse when it's not. I've never abused you.
You dragging me across the floor is abuse.
Never dragged you
just because you did not leave bruises does not mean that you did not abuse me. The reason I didn't go to jail when the police came is because I did not have bruises. You dragged me across the floor. I screamed and called for my kids, even the stepdaughter. My stepdaughter said that on video when they were banging at the door. I came outside. I'm always a runner. I don't like to argue. I don't like to keep going back and forth because it gets worse with you. If I don't understand when you say, "Oh, you don't comprehend," you don't understand what I'm saying. You get louder and louder and louder, and I understand that no matter how many times you say the same sentence, yelling at me is the difference between talking to me and talking at me. It's a difference.
That does not mean.
My experience of you was abuse, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I said you never broke a finger. I said you never broke anything on me. That's what I say. I said this is the first time you ever broke something on me. I never said you never abused me. I never said that. I said that you did not give me black eyes. I said that you did not leave bruises on me. I said you did not leave me black and blue. Again, trying to protect your image. But I never said that you never abused me, Robert. I never said that.
Well,
trying to protect his image. So she's accusing him of abuse, but saying that the way he abused her, allegedly, didn't leave marks. So she called the police, and of course they came and they saw no marks. I don't know what the rules are in America or different states, right? They're in different states, so obviously every state will have, I guess, different domestic violence laws. We know there's a big black femicide in America. Black femicide is murders a woman, and there's a really big one in the black community. You know, I think they account for a lot of the femicide cases. I was researching the femicide in the UK, and I can't really say it's exactly the same in terms of like more ethnic, more black people die, black women die as a result of their partners. But femicide, more like sexual abuse. Women that die normally die at the hands of those that they know. But anyways. So I think that's helpful to know about the laws and how it works, because obviously in the UK, the domestic violence laws have gotten a bit more tight, a bit more stricter. There was a time that the police would come and be like, "Yo, we can't do nothing. This is a domestic issue." Now it's like, "Look, we actually will arrest you," and then they will see if the person press charges, and then they will investigate if this is going on. So they will actually arrest you. They will have powers to arrest. Where 5-6 years ago, that weren't the case. It's interesting that, you know, Amisha, you mentioned that she is toxic, right? What are your reasons? What makes you why do you think she's toxic? What are you seeing there? Like I said, I've got a big irritation of it. I think let me say this now, and then you know, I don't have to repeat myself later. So my biggest thing is, there's many things. If you follow the story, I haven't followed the story fully, right? But if you follow the story, I know, for example, Tasha K felt like she was lying because Tasha K felt like her team, because they had the same team. I think they've now got a separate team, but they were husband and wife, so they had the same team. He was popular and then met her. And then he, I guess, essentially helped her build her own brand. Then she went to social media to announce their divorce, and, you know, or announce he filed for divorce actually, but to announce, you know, all of this different stuff. And then he's, I guess, gone on a media tour to defend his honor. And there's been lots of videos that's occurred between both of them. So their divorce is being messy online. And, you know, a lot of men have said it, like, if they're quiet, they seem guilty. If they talk, they seem guilty, right? Now, she's made an accusation. I don't know if this is being investigated by the police. So if it isn't being investigated by the police, that's my biggest issue now, because you are making massive accusations to a person who is going to deny. So it really is her word against his word. And if there is no evidence to the police to substantiate it, what it means is that you've just gone to social media. And unfortunately, social media like to do their judgment because they think people on social media feel like they're investigators, the detectives, they think they're that, right? They're just human beings that sometimes connect and then project and identify with somebody's pain. So there'll be men that will think she's a liar, and there'll be women that just say, I know that because my ex-partner spoke like him, twitched his eye like him, right? People will start to identify with both of them and believe in their hearts of hearts that X did that and Y did that, like they were there, like they are God, like they can see that they were the piece of, they were there in the room. But I think my irritation and why I have empathy for her, I do. And I think this is an amazing concept, right? I love the fact that they've got somebody who I guess is trained within trauma and stuff like that and is therapeutic, essentially. I just think that the demand that she's asking for him just doesn't make sense. How can you ask somebody who's got a lot to lose to tell the world that, yeah, I did physically abuse you? I don't know. It's like, and she said, show up to me how you showed to me in private. Really?
Wait for this extent.
Well, I'm telling you, I've never abused you, and I'm telling you, you verbally abused me.
And that's fine.
You mentally
That's
abused
fine.
me.
That's your experience.
No, that's truth.
Okay.
And so,
That's the truth.
So can I interrupt? And here we have it. We have two different people from two different experiences as far as childhood is concerned. And even in this moment, or I guess it happened 3 months ago, both of your experiences are different.
Mhm.
I heard Mr. Hampton say the truth. And I heard you say that you don't like when people say my truth. But everyone is entitled to their truth. Whether you agree with it or not, it's hers to have. And just like yours is yours to have. And the truth, here I go with the word, but the truth of the matter is, it was y'all two in that house.
Mhm.
It was God, the Most High. I don't know if the kids were in there. Your father, I heard the father was in there,
Yeah, the kids.
and you two. So I don't think this space that we're in now is going to resolve it. Let me tell you what I see. I see two hurt children that tried to come together and love each other through their trauma, through grief, through death, through molestation, through hurt, through fear. And it lasted as long as it could. I could not imagine going through a divorce in front of social media. The backslash from the people who trust Mr. Hampton, the backslash from the people who trust Miss Hampton. So, and I don't want to keep you guys, we've been on this long enough, but let me end it here. There's a child involved.
Yeah, I agree.
A
That's
little
all I talk
boy.
about. That's all I talk about. Make it right for the kids. They shouldn't have to see none of this stuff.
You don't have to answer it here, but I do challenge you both. So really dig deep inside of you.
By the way, the trauma coach is beautiful. She look young, but my girl is of mature. She's seasoned. Oh, black don't crack. Black don't crack at all. It does not crack. Yes. Esther, that's watching. My namesake. Put a comment in the chat. Okay, so the thing is, where I know that this woman's astute is that she recognized this ain't gonna go nowhere, because the demand that Brianna was placing on the truth is not going to bring the result. It's not going to yield. Right? When you are emotional, when you're in your trauma, when you're in your pain, right? We're not seeing things clearly. So in that moment, for example, let's say, some of us haven't gone with our fathers, right? So I haven't gone with my father and I was going to see him, right? Maybe I'm emotional, I'm angry. Everything just starts to flood back. Like, you left me, you abandoned me, you don't care. I've done all of this thing to come and see you. So I might be asking questions that if I thought logically, he may not answer it. Now, when you're by yourself, you might get a different answer to when you're on the screen, and potentially how many people, 45k people will watch this. At the time, it could have been 100 people on the live. Look, when you're in public, people say different things. when you're in private because of shame, embarrassment, right? So when you are not in the midst of your pain and trauma, right? You can still be traumatized, but then aspects of you can think logically and say, actually, me asking for a demand, it might be just saying, look, the truth said what he had to say. That's his truth. But my truth is this. I would not make this up. I know what I experienced. I love this man. I gave him everything. Yes, I may have been a bit jealous. Yes, I may have done things that I'm not proud of, but I'm not the only one to blame for the downfall of this marriage. I should not have taken to social media, but I didn't know what to do. I was so angry. I did not want him to get away scot-free with how he hurt me. That, to me, would have been what would have been brilliant on the show. But probably is me expecting too much. I'm not in her situation. I am not reliving the pain right now. I am not reliving the trauma. So it's easy for me to say what would have been good to see. This is good to see from a talking standpoint, from a therapeutic standpoint, from a learning standpoint, but for real growth in her life, for real growth in the in our black communities, this is not great. This is terrible. This demonstrates. I don't know if she said this or she's already said this. Two people came with a lot of trauma who are not healed. Let me say this right now. I really believe 10 toes down that I don't really think you should enter into a romantic relationship until you've had some sort of therapy, whether it's therapy in its true sense of the word, it could be a mentorship program. If you haven't gone through personal development, you don't know yourself. You cannot know yourself by yourself, right? You need to know yourself through a mirror. Therapy is a mirror. Coaching is a mirror. Mentoring is a mirror, because people around you will see the blind spots that you don't have. The issue is we don't like to listen to other people's advice. We want to make the same mistakes ourselves and then cry about it after. The Bible says that you're a fool if you basically make the same mistakes as those that have gone before you, but you are wise if you learn from the mistakes of others, right? Learn from Brianna and Latruth's mistake. Do not enter into a relationship when you haven't done the healing and you're carrying a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of emotional turmoil. Do not do this, because this is it. Your wedding day is beautiful. Your pictures are beautiful. You're showing off on, you're going to Turks and Caicos, you're going to Bali. Look, behind the scenes, I'm telling you, people in their relationship are going through it. I actually think people that post the most are going through it the most, because when you're living life, you're enjoying yourself, you ain't really got time to post. Because I know for a fact, I've seen people argue, the next minute saying, oh, let me post this picture of me and my guy. And I feel like it's an overcompensation for what they feel is lacking. But that's just me.